So, good evening, everybody. We'll continue our session with the drug proving. We have started with the drug proving, the introductory part, and thereafter, in last lecture, we have finished certain important things, how the types, proving on whom you can do, you have to do it on both male as well as female partners, and then how the how will you administer the medicine. The oral route is the most common use for the proving, and you have to start. It depends upon what type of medicines which you are using. If the medicine is in crude form and it doesn't shows any results in the crude form, then that medicine should be proved only in the potentized form. And in such types of cases, you have to utilize that medicine in first with 30 potency. With sometimes you can give the globules directly on the mouth, or sometimes you dilute it with the or dissolve it with the water and give it to the patient. And you go on repeating till the few symptoms starts appearing. And if they become stronger, stop giving the medicine. So the routes of administration, how to give it, how it depends upon the medicine also, and how it depends upon the prover also. All things he tried to explain over there. If the prover is of a very robust character, then you have to repeat little bit more, because the susceptibility generally comparatively low, and you have to repeat in such types of personalities. That is what he has explained in 130, 129. And we have learned those prerequisites and some rules of proving. Let us start with the new aphorism, that is 130, what he wants to explain. We'll learn one or two aphorisms in today's session again, and we'll continue with it. In aphorism 130, what he says, if at all at the very commencement, the first dose administered shall have been sufficiently strong, this advantage is gained, that the experimenter learns the order of succession of the symptoms and can note down accurately the period at which each occurs, which is very useful in leading to the knowledge of the genius of the medicine. For then the order of primary actions, as also that of the alternating actions, is observed in the most unambiguous manner. A very moderate dose even often suffices for the experiment, provided only the experimenter is endowed with sufficiently delicate sensitivity. Endowed means he has been acquainted, given, Ishwari Dengi Asnara, endowed with sufficiently delicate sensitiveness, and is very attentive to his sensations. The duration of action of the drug can only be ascertained by comparison of several experiments. See, again he wants to explain that how much medicine is given, how much to repeat, in what potency it should be given, whether it is necessary to repeat or not necessary to repeat. It depends. If your prover is very sensitive, like an idiosyncratic individual, at that time, there is very less repetition is required. You give the medicine for the proving, and patient immediately starts showing the symptomatology. This is good for proving because you will get the chronological order in which they appears. And that type of proving gives you exact idea about the action of the medicines. Second important thing which you can get, you can find it out the alternating action sometimes. You can find it out the primary action as well as secondary action sometimes. So you should be very watchful and careful and observable during the part of proving. So every aspect of proving he tries to explain over there in detail. At the same time, he explains in the last sentence, the duration of action of the drug can only be ascertained by comparison of several experiments. So how much time that medicine will going to act? That you have to do that experiment on many provers. You have to be watchful regarding the action, and then you can notice, yes, this medicine acts nearly about 30 days, this medicine acts for 15 days, this medicine acts for 1 day. So You can find it out the action of the medicines after repeated experimentation, and you can come to the conclusion of that. So this is the way with which you have to go if you want to do proving all the norms which he tried to explain over there. And all those are essential if you are really interested in doing the provings. There are many ways with which people have proved, but what the way Hahnemann have explained is the right way, where you can get the detailed data regarding the patients, regarding the medicine and medicinal action. And if you get that detailed data, that will be very useful when you treat such types of patients. So the norms which he tries to explain over there are very essential for the proving. My suggestion is that at least you prove a remedy. A remedy you must take. Just find it out how it acts, what it produces. There is no fear in taking the medicine for the proving, because no medicine will going to do or provide a pathological action. Whatever will going to happen is only the functional thing. You can take the experience, and second important thing, when you prove the drugs, definitely your immune system gets boost, because it is the medicine which stimulates your inner vital force, and because of which vital force reacts against that stimulus. When it reacts, automatically it reacts to your immune reactions, and that's why you develop a good immunity because of it. So proving is useful for you. It never causes any pathology inside the human being. So here he wants to explain over there that you how to give the medicines, when how much dose is needed. If the patient is sensitive, there is no need to repeat too much. Moderate dose is sufficient, and you can find it out all symptoms in chronological order. And last thing he explains over there, that the duration of action of the drug can only be ascertained by comparison of several experiments. So you experiment with many people, compare it, find it out exactly, and then you find it out exact duration of action. This work is very essential, because it gives you exactly the depth of action of the remedy. If you go with the Gibson Miller's action of the remedies which are mentioned at the end of the Borix Matramedica or Kent's repertory, that is Gibson Miller's remedy relationship as well as action. There he has mentioned the action of remedy. And depending on which, you can understand the depth of the remedy also. So if you go through that, you can find it out. Yes, aconite acts only for a day, or LMCPA only for a day or two, Naxomica for 1 to 7 days, or Netramur or Calcareaca or Sepia. All those drugs are very defecting. They act nearly about 40 to 60 days. Some remedies acts in between, that is 20 to 30 days. Subacute remedies like Bryonia or Stramonium, 9 to 22 days. So you get the depth of action of the remedy with the help of that. And that's why it is necessary to understand, and how to understand that he mentions over there. Then he turns towards the 131. Let us see what he says in 131. If, however, in order to ascertain anything at all, the same medicine must be given to the same person to test for several successive days in ever increasing doses, we thereby learn, no doubt, the various morbid states this medicine is capable of producing in a general manner, but we do not ascertain their order of succession. And subsequent dose often removes curatively some one or other symptoms of caused by the previous dose, or develops in its stead an opposite state. Such symptoms should be enclosed in the brackets to mark their ambiguity until subsequent pure experimental shows whether they are reactions of the organisms and secondary action or an alternating actions of the medicine. So when you prove the remedies, you go on repeating, and when you go on repeating for successive days in increasing potency. What he says, if you are given 30 and you have written the whatever has happened, then you give 200 to the same prover. You find it out how it reacts, how the person reacts to 200. There is one important thing, that it removes the bad effects or effects which are produced because of earlier dose. At the same time, it goes and penetrates inside, producing more detailed action at the deeper level. In such a manner, if you go and repeat the go on increasing the potency for the proving, then you will get a detailed data about that remedy. So it should not be proved only in single potency. What he wants to mention over there, you should not give only 30 potency. If you have proved it in 30, then go for 200. Then after some time you go for 1M, then you can go for 10M. In such manner, you can go ahead and you can develop whole clear picture about that medicine. So one should not be fixed with only one potency for the proving. This is one important thing which he wants to explain over there. At the same time, you can go on observing the actions of medicine, whether it produces any alternating action, that you can find it out when you go on proving remedy inside manner. And also sometimes even secondary action you can observe if it happens in that patient. So this proving how you have to conduct, this is what he is explaining. I think we can finish one more. 132. But when the object is without reference to sequential order of the phenomena and the duration of action of the drug, only to ascertain the symptoms themselves, especially those of a weak medicinal substance. In that case, preferable course to pursue is to give it for several successive days, increasing the dose every day. In this manner, the action of an unknown medicine, even of the mildest nature, will be revealed, especially if tested on the sensitive person. So now what he is giving, he is explaining over there that if you want to pursue the action of any medicine which is weak, so that medicinal substance doesn't have a strong action. For example, we'll take a simple example. Onion in its raw state produces its action. It is strong in action. That's why you immediately get symptoms of onion, even though you have not consumed it in a dynamic form. But still, being a material, it produces a dynamic effect. That much strong onion is. But there are other ingredients which in their crude state, if you consume, they never show directly the powers. They are weak in their crude state. For example, you can take example of a ginger. Ginger, if you are taken in crude form, will not affect you so much as the onion will going to affect. So at that time, you have to go on giving it in the potentized form and repeat it for successive days till you get the exact action of the remedy, till you understand exact action of the remedy. So it depends also on the what type of medicinal substance you are proving. If it is of strong character, you don't have to repeat too much. But if it is of a weak character, you have to repeat it till you get or you start getting the exact picture or exact action of that remedy. Then you, in such types of cases where the medicine is weak, it is always better to utilize it in a sensitive person. This is what he is explaining. Who are the sensitive? The individuals who are idiosyncratic individuals are always sensitive. And where you can get the action of these weak medicinal substances in detailed manner, and you can get a thorough proving about it. So we have learned about the 129, 130, 31, 32, where he tries to explain how one should go ahead with the proving. All those aphorisms mentioned over here are related with exact experimentation of the proving and how one can go ahead with the proving. So it is one more time, if you read it, then you will acknowledge exactly what Hahnemann wants to say. Those who are interested in doing the MD in pharmacy, for them this is too important. So because this is in fact the reference from directly from the Organon, which will be there in the pharmacy. So these aphorisms are very helpful for them in that. I think we'll stop over here and we'll continue with the next aphorism in tomorrow's session. Okay, so we'll meet tomorrow at the same time. Yesterday, someone who have some question, we can have a chat. What was the question,
Hello, sir.
Nisha? Hmm.
Yes, sir. My question was, what is homeopathic approach regarding deworming? It should be done or should not be done, or if any patient come towards us who has taken that
Basically,
albendazole and yes.
basically, when the children shows a manifestations of the worms, typical manifestations are there. There are irritation in the nose. The children goes on boring the nose. They grinds the teeth during sleep. They becomes very irritable. They becomes very obstinate. They become so restless. They become so irritated that they never react in a normal manner. They sleeps on abdomen. They crave sweets. There is a ravenous appetite. There is itching of specifically in the anal region or genital area. Sometimes even they bores in the ears also. So such types of manifestations, if they are presenting, there is a need to give the remedy. If there are no more manifestations, why to give the medicine? It is not of any use. Because if there are worms, definitely it will going to produce its own features. And second, one more important thing Hahnemann have mentioned while explaining the uh, introduction, he has given very nicely how to handle these worms. He has explained over there that giving just a senna or senna seeds or all those things, it is not of any use. If you really wants to treat all those entities, then it needs basically it needs a soric anti-soric remedy, because all those manifestations never comes out every time. If it comes out, you find it out senna or spigelia or all those things, sabadilla, all those worm remedies are there. But worms generally, if they are there, they are having the synergistic relationship with the host. They never troubles the host, and host even never troubles the worms, because there is no problem with them. When the host becomes ill, the worms gets disturbed, and then worm starts irritating. Then it starts producing the features, and then it requires a medicine. So he has very nicely in one footnote in the introduction part, he has very nicely explained it. I will let you know tomorrow exactly where it has been given, but he has mentioned it in a very nice manner in the introduction in the footnote, and whole footnote was related with the specifically how to treat the worms. Just a
Sir,
minute.
in sulfur, it is written as finally we have to give sulfur
No,
after giving.
that is what is for on 49 page. There is footnote number 12 or 13 number in the introduction part, vermicular diseases. And he has written very nicely how to manage the vermicular diseases. You go through that footnote, you will understand exactly what Hahnemann wants to explain. Very simple language he has mentioned. In the introduction part, footnote number 13. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Anything else? So shall we conclude? So we'll meet tomorrow at the same time with next aphorisms. Thank you.